Good morning. Are we live? Yes, we are live. Hello. So I am just going to do something a little bit different today. So I am sitting here in my office, and this morning, I am doing free CV reviews. Okay, so if you are looking for a free CV review, the link is above or below, depending on which platform you're watching this on. So what I'm going to do today, I'm not going to just sit here and talk at you about, random stuff. I am actually going to do some free CV reviews, and I'm going to talk you through, because I think I come on here and I will say, oh, the biggest mistake you're making on your CV is this, or you need to do this on your CV, or you need to do that on your CV. But actually, every CV is so massively different. I mean, you could probably say some of the big mistakes are fairly consistent across the board, but ultimately, every CV is different. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to freestyle this one. We're just going to go through some CVs, and I'm going to tell you where people are going wrong on those CVs. So if you want to submit yours, I'm not going to obviously share the details of these people or give away any information that would allow these people to be identified. I'm literally just going to talk through the mistakes that are being made on their CVs. Okay, so while I'm doing this, if you've got a question on your CV, on your career generally, on anything to do with you, then you can put it in the comments below. If it's a private question, drop me a DM. If you don't want anyone to see you posting, just drop me a DM. It will be easier if you send me a DM on LinkedIn. So I don't know where you're watching this, but I am live across LinkedIn, Facebook, and Facebook, I think. So yeah, so I am streaming into my free group, which is Career Success Club, where I provide daily career insights. So you're welcome to come over and join that as well. The link is above. You can click on my Linktree and get access to all of my free stuff there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's just freestyle this. If you're watching live, give me a hashtag live, let me know. If you're watching on replay, give me a hashtag replay, let me know that you were here. And also let me know if this information that I'm going to be giving to you is useful. If there's anything else you'd like to know, just give me a feedback. That'll be amazing. So let's get started. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm not going to share the screen or anything, but I'm obviously going to be reading the screen because I'm going to be looking at the CV. So let me just get them up on the screen. So if you're watching, tell me that you're watching. Say hello. Wait, let me see. Okay. Wait, let me just check that I am back here. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so I've got a CV here. Now, my first impression when I open the CV is the font is pretty big. Okay, so I think if I guess correctly, this font is Arial and is around 12 to 14. Yeah, okay. It's size 12 font. So it looks huge on the screen. And also what that does by using that bigger font is, when you open it, if you haven't opened the entire document and you've just opened it as a minimized version, then you're only going to see a small part of what is written on that CV. Okay, so I would be wanting to move that up. I would be wanting to reduce that text. So this person has separated all of the sections with lines. So that's fine, and that is one way of breaking up the CV, but I wouldn't advise you to do that, because if you do that and somebody has a different version of Word, when you open up the document, those lines can move around. So if you're going to put lines on your CV, you can do that to separate the sections, but if you're going to send it in as a PDF, not as a Word document, okay? Because then if you send it as a PDF, it doesn't matter what you put on the CV, because it's always going to be the same as when you send it off, okay? And all of these myths around applicant tracking systems not being able to properly scan PDFs, like that was back in the old days, okay? So we're perfectly fine now with using PDFs to send our CVs in, because what that means is when we send it in as a PDF, nobody can change it. And nothing can move around. Okay, so this is where you just need to make sure everything is in the right place. Okay, so if you're tuning in now, just to let you know what we are doing this morning. So I'm just going to do some free CV reviews live, because instead of kind of picking out different different faults or different things that could be improved, I'm just going to tell you, like, what's coming in, because every CV is different. So if you're watching live, give me a hashtag live, and if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. I'm just going to check to see if we've got any questions coming through. Let me just see. Okay, so yeah, so let me know if you are watching. Okay, so we've got a couple of people watching over on Facebook. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so then what we've got then is this person goes from personal profile. So personal profile, so this is one of the most key sections. So as I open this CV, I'm like, who is this person? What do they do? Now, right now, I can't see what this person does. Now, what I do when I do the free CV reviews is I ask you for information, and I say, what roles are you applying for with this CV? And I also ask you, how many applications have you made with this CV, and a few other things. What I do when I do the CV review is I don't look at that information until I've read through your CV, because what I want to be able to see when I review your CV is I want to be able to see what you do and what you deliver. And I want to be able to pick that out straight away, okay? And if I can't pick that out, then I'm going to tell you that I can't see that. So with this person, I don't know, I'm going to go and have a look what they do. But right now, from the, the top section and the personal profile, I cannot tell what they do. Now, I am thinking it's something to do with sales and marketing, because they have mentioned some of that, but I don't really know a great deal about what they do and deliver and what they can bring to this organization, which means that this CV is not tailored to any specific role, okay? Because I just can't figure it out. Now, as I go down the CV, we've got some key skills, just a list of words, okay? So there's no context behind these words. So if you're just going to put in a list of words, then I would say that is more areas of expertise than key skills, because if it's a key skill, then we want to expand on that a little bit more. Okay, and then we go into employment history. Now, straight away, I am trying to figure out what was this person's job role. But as you read left to right, I've got the date, I've got the company. Okay, where is the job title? I'm trying to find that job title. So if your job title isn't, top left, then you are going to make the recruiter or the hiring manager work for that information. Okay, so when you are reviewing a CV, what you want to see is that the person has attempted to tailor to the role to give you some insight on what they can bring to the role. And then you want to see, the job titles for the last few years to see exactly what they've been doing, if they've got that level of experience that you're looking for. Okay, so if I've got to work for it, then, that's just going to make it really difficult for me to, to figure out, is this person right for the role? Okay, so that's that, okay? And then they've just got a whole list of things that they've done, okay? And that's fine, but this just looks like a copy and paste job description. Like, where is this person bringing it to life? They're not bringing it to life, okay? So, if they're planning events, then what event were they? How did they benefit the business? What did that do for the business? How did those events go? Did you plan 10 events during 2020? Maybe not, because that was COVID, wasn't it? But if you plan 10 events that ran smoothly with X amount of attendees, with minimal issues, and you were able to, what was the purpose of those events? Were they internal events to increase employee engagement? Were they external events to bring in new leads to the business? Were they, a whole range of things that these events could be for? So you kind of get the drift. What are those things for? How are they benefiting the business? So everything that is in your CV, you should be showing a hiring manager or a recruiter how you benefit the business, okay? Because, you can just put a list of things on there, but you're not going to stand out from other candidates if you don't show, how you brought these things to life. What did you do? What was the benefit of doing those things? Okay, so, and then this person has got a career break in there. It's absolutely fine to put in a career break, but, ultimately it's none of the hiring manager's business why you had a career break. So if you want to leave that out, that is absolutely your prerogative to do so. Never ever worry about career breaks. Okay, so overall, this person could definitely add more meat onto the bones here and could give more information around what they've done and what they've delivered, rather than just a list of job description tasks. Okay, so think about that when you're writing or reviewing your own CV. Okay, and then qualifications and education. Okay, so this person's literally listed out their entire GCSEs. Now this person has got, from the look of it, almost 20 years experience in the workplace. So that means they've done their GCSEs a long time ago. So you don't need to list out your GCSEs. It's just enough to put on, in fact, you could leave off your GCSEs. If you've got A levels, then they overtake the GCSEs. If you've got a degree, that overtakes the A levels. Like, everybody knows if you've got a degree, you've had to do GCSEs and A levels. Like, nobody can just walk into university and do a degree without having done some previous qualifications. Okay, so if you want to save space, you can leave them off. But if you're going to put GCSEs on, then, just put 9, 8 to Cs or whatever the grading is, okay? That will be perfect. And you probably don't even need to mention the subjects of GCSE, because by the time you've done your degree or whatever you've done, then, the GCSEs become irrelevant. And equally, if you've not got education to add onto your CV, absolutely don't worry about it. Just leave the education section off. Don't get hung up about it, because actually a lot of the time experience counts for more. Okay, so that is one CV done. So let's have a look at another one. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so this is interesting. So this person has put on their address, their phone number, their email address, their LinkedIn link, their date of birth. Okay, so basically this person is an information stealer's dream. So this person has sent in literally every form of identifying information that they can on their CV. Okay, so what you want to think about is you don't need to put your address on the CV. If you apply for a job, it is widely assumed that you are able to get to that organization. Okay, so you don't need to put on your address. You can, if you want to put the town that you're from, you can do that, but you don't need to do that. All you need is your phone number, your email address, and your LinkedIn link, providing that your LinkedIn is up to date. Okay, so don't put a LinkedIn link on a CV that is not also tailored towards the job that you're applying for, because it will put recruiters and hiring managers off, because they'll either think that you couldn't be bothered updating it, or they'll just think, are you just chancing it, with a tailored CV? Okay, so with this, so we're going to read from left to right. So this person's put the name on the left, which is fine, but your name should be top center. This is about you. This is about your CV. And I think lots of people tend to become detached from this CV and just think of this CV as an external document, something that is not really part of them. Okay, so your CV should feel part of you. It should be something that you're proud of. It should be something that you're really proud to show up, something that you enjoy updating, because you're constantly adding on to your experience. Most people find the CV an absolute bore poorly, whatever you want to call it. People hate the CV, they hate writing it, they hate thinking about what should be on it, and they just generally feel like they don't know what should be on it. Okay, so if you're one of these people and you're wondering, or you're thinking, what should be on my CV, book yourself in for a free CV review. Okay, so the link is above, and you can book yourself in, and I will give you an update, an understanding, a run through of your CV and my thoughts around it. Okay, so what I want you to think about is, how can you make your CV feel part of you? What do you need to put on there? Actually, let's rewind that a little bit. What is it that you don't like about your CV right now? What is it that's putting you off writing it? What is putting you off thinking about your CV right now? Okay, because a lot of the time when you are worrying about what should be on your CV, you are holding yourself back from going for any opportunities that could be really good to progress your career. Okay, so I want you to think about that right now. I want you to think about, getting out your CV right now, today, at some point, and starting to update it. Now, you can just pile everything in as it comes up, because you're going to tailor that CV for every application anyway, but you can just throw everything in for now. And even if you end up with 4 or 5 pages, you can reduce that to 2 pages for just the tailored information. But ultimately, you want to have everything in there so you don't forget anything. And as you're going through your job on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, if you think, oh wow, that is absolutely brilliant that I've just delivered that, I'm really proud of myself, that was a real good thing for the business, then just open up your CV and write it in. So what I'd suggest is save your CV in a Google document, or save your CV in a Google folder. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can just log on to your Google Drive and you can update or add information to your CV. Okay, so this person here, this person has actually got lots of different fonts going on, lots of different sizes. It just looks a little bit like it's lacking attention to detail. Okay, so you do want to give that impression. Also, the personal summary at the top is not very strong at all. In fact, I can kind of figure out what this person is wanting to do and what they're passionate about, but I don't know what they can bring to the role. Okay, and the skills section is bog standard, keywords with no substance whatsoever. Okay, so when you're thinking about putting in your key skills, what is the substance? Where is the substance, rather? What sits behind them? Where is the meat on the bones? What do you bring to the table? Okay, so then this person has also used like grey blocks, but everything is in a slightly different place. Some of the things are bolded, which is not a bad thing if you're going to bold some of the key elements. But yeah, ultimately there's a lot more information that could be added to this, but would still keep it really clear and concise. So again, it's just a list of meaningless tasks. There's no substance. There's no what I delivered, what I brought to the table, what difference these things made when I completed them. Okay, so these are the things that you need to think about. Okay, so, and then some achievements, which is good. And let's see. Okay, so this CV is like 3 pages long. I think we could definitely reduce that to 2 because there's a lot of waffle that doesn't need to be on there. Okay, so this person has put actually hobbies and interests, and then put a little note saying, do I need to add these in? Okay, so hobbies and interests are an interesting one to talk about. So my view on this, from a recruiter point of view, from a hiring manager point of view, from a career coach point of view, from a CV writer point of view, is that they're not necessarily that relevant. Now, if you're going to say, I enjoy socializing, cooking, going to the gym, these are all standard things that everyone does. If you've got something, something a little bit different. Like, I run a marathon every year. I go kayaking at the weekend. One guy whose CV I did used to be, well, is a caver. He goes caving. Now that was interesting because straight away I was like, well, what is that? And that was a question that I asked him, and then we struck up a conversation. If you're just putting bog standards, going to the gym and stuff, nobody's really going to ask you a question in an interview. Like, tell me about going to the gym. And you're like, oh, I love going to the gym. Like, most people put on that they go to the gym and they don't go to the gym. So, nobody's really going to ask you about them things. But if you've got something really interesting, like maybe your hobbies and interests are around supporting, a really good cause, whatever it is, if it's something that's interesting, if it's something that's relevant, then you can put it on. If it's not relevant, sometimes it can be a good talking point. But also what you need to be aware of with hobbies and interests as well is, what you don't want to do is show the employer that, you might take your eye off the ball because you've got all of this stuff going on outside of work. So just think about what they are. And if you're ever stuck and you're unsure, then just drop me a message and just say, Pam, would you put these hobbies and interests on your CV? And I'm always happy to get back to you and tell you, my thoughts on that. Okay, so if you want to book in for a free CV review, the link is above. You can, or below, depending on where you're watching. And also, just to remind people, where are we? What day is it? It's Wednesday, isn't it? So tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I am running my Pay Rise Secrets Masterclass, where I will be talking you through how you can get a pay rise really, really easy. Now, it's not about asking for a pay rise. Like, that is one part of asking or of achieving a pay rise. It's one part, but ultimately what I'm going to show you is how you can start creating your career plan and how you can start planning for those pay rises going forward. Okay, so if you want to come and listen to that, if you want to get the replay so that you can listen later, then all you need to do is sign up. The link is above on the Linktree link. Sign up for the masterclass, and you can then watch it whenever you are free if you can't join live. And if you can join live, then obviously you get a chance to do Q&A at the end. Okay, so let me know how you're getting on. Let me know if those CV reviews were useful. I might do a few more through the week. I'm getting quite a few in on a daily basis now, so make sure you get yours in. I usually try and get them back to people within 24 to 48 hours, depending on what day of the week they come in. Obviously, we don't work on weekends. So if you are submitting it, try and get it in today, and I'll get it back to you by the end of the week, okay? And I'll let you know exactly what's good and also where you could improve, okay? So have an amazing day, and I'll be back for the usual lunchtime live this week, and I will see you soon.